Today is Saturday, April 14th, and I was recording, kind of putting the motor in and the swing arm on, and well, thought I was recording and somehow missed that. So I stopped as soon as I realized it, and this is how far I got, which you didn't really miss a whole lot. So it's been 6 days, I think, yeah, six full days since the frame was painted, and it feels like it's pretty much cured. I put the motor in with no scratches, so that's a good thing. There's just 2 bolts at the bottom that hold the motor in, and then there's the one for the swing arm. If you remember, I didn't actually take the shock off, so really the only thing that we've missed in the video is me sliding the motor in there. Again, there's 2 bolts at the very bottom. I'll show you those in a second. The bolt for the swing arm, and then the bolt for the top shock, and that's really the only thing you missed. I did power wash the swing arm. Still needs a little bit cleaning, but I'm going to wait to clean that up while it's on the bike. So we'll go ahead and show you where those 2 bolts are. Take you off the tripod here. Okay. And I also had this in my disassembly video. So there's one. There's one. You know, essentially the motor just sits in there. You don't have to move anything out of the way. Put the shock bolt on, and then we put the center. It's not even tightened yet. That's when I realized that we wasn't recording. So now, a little tip to keep in mind. What I usually do, you can either put this in first, or you can put these. What I do is I put the first 2 bolts in on the motor here. They're loose. I do not tighten them down, because you want a little bit of play in the motor for when you actually put the swing arm in, because it does go through the motor there. So put those on loosely. Then I put the swing arm in, get it all lined up, put that in, that's loose. And then again, this is loose. So at this point, everything at the top here is just loose to make sure it all fits. Now, once you get those all done, you can go ahead and crank it all down and go from there. So the next thing I think we're going to do is we're going to put the triple tree on. We're not going to put the forks on yet, because I still got to do a video of rebuilding those. It's going to be the same as the 250F, but I'll show you again anyway. So we'll come back here in a few seconds, and we'll end up putting this the triple tree on. Well, it'll be permanent, but we're not going to tighten it down, so stay tuned. Okay, moving on to the triple tree here, or triple clamps, whatever you want to call them. First thing I do is I put a bunch of grease in on the races for the bearings to set into. Then on the lower bearings, since we're not actually going to, this bearing's good, we didn't actually have it pressed off, put a bunch of grease on there, and we'll take the top bearing, and I've already basically just dunked it in. It's a Yamalube race grease. Just dunk it in and just lather it real good. That's the first thing. Then next thing we're going to do and this is pretty self-explanatory for most of you. We'll go ahead and slide the bottom in, take the top bearing, slide it in. I've actually got probably too much grease on there, and we'll clean that up in a minute. Then we'll take our top cap here, put that in. There's a washer. And then we've got a nut that goes on. Go ahead and put that on. Now you can tighten this up at this point. Go ahead and crank this all the way down to spec, which it varies the bike to bike. So make sure it's not notchy. There is a special tool for that, but I just usually use here we go, like a hammer and a little punch, and I just do it by feel pretty much. I don't, because I don't have that special wrench, and that's never failed me yet. So that's good and smooth, and we've got grease everywhere. So the next thing you want to do is actually put your top triple clamp on. This particular one, there's a washer that goes there, then triple clamp, washer, and then another nut. Now this one you do not want to tighten down. And you can there's a couple ways you can put these on. You can either wait until you get your forks rebuilt, put it all as one assembly. I like to do it this way. Well, it doesn't matter which way. I think I did it the other way on the 250F, I don't remember. But leave this loose, and the reason being is when you put the forks in, you're not going to have any binding. If you try to have it tight, put them in there, you're more than likely going to have some binding. So leave it loose, then you tighten up these clamps, and we'll show you this later. Then you would tighten up the top clamp. So for now, that's going to do it for this video. We'll move on, and not sure what we'll do next. We'll figure it out. So anyways, please subscribe. Thanks for watching, and always have a good day.